Doreen is officially risen and we need to get this sandwich bread started right now. It's not going to be done until tomorrow anyways, but I'm ready to be done in the kitchen. I'm going to start by adding 500 grams of our active starter. I lied. We only need 50 grams. Sorry about the bowl, we're starting over. I messed up. Okay, so we're gonna start by adding 50 grams of sourdough starter on our scale. What a fucking mess. There we go. Now we're gonna add 270 grams of warm water. Mix the water in the starter and we're just going to set it aside. Now we need 500 grams of flour. I am using organic bread flour. And we are gonna add this to our mixing bowl. We're gonna add 4 tablespoons of softened butter cut into cubes. That's fine. Dump it in the bowl. 1 tablespoon of sugar. I'm using raw cane sugar. Next, we need 9 grams of salt. I'm just gonna add some salt, okay? That should be good. We're gonna mix this in the stand-up mixer until it kind of looks like crumbs. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's looking pretty crummy. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my starter and water mixture. And we're gonna go ahead and mix this up again. I'll be back. Everything's combined. I'm just gonna go ahead and mix this up the rest of the way with my hands. At this point, the dough should be sticky and elasticy. If you're there, that means you're doing it correctly. Now we're gonna cover this up with plastic wrap and let it sit for 30 minutes. Dough has rested for 30 minutes, so we're gonna put this back on the mixer with the bread hook and mix this for about 6 to 8 minutes. If you don't have a bread hook or a mixer, you can knead this for about 8 to 10 minutes. After 6 minutes, this is what she's looking like. She is not sticky. Well, she's a little bit sticky, but that's okay. If your dough is any stickier than this, you can add a little bit more flour and go ahead and mix her up for another 2 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and say she's good, and I'm gonna cover her with some plastic wrap and let her rest overnight. It's supposed to be 10 to 12 hours, but we're not going to come back to her until I'm done with work. So, yeah. Okay, guys, a lot of time has elapsed. She fell because I was being too rough with her. But now I'm going to go ahead and put my dough on a lightly floured surface. Hopefully I didn't let her sit too long because she does have to do another little rise. So, we'll see. We are going to flatten her out. And for sandwich bread, we're gonna roll our dough into a log. And we're gonna just tuck the ends in. So we're just going to like that. And we're gonna let her sit for 5 to 10 minutes. Just let her rest. Then we're gonna put her in a pan. All right, so our dough has sat for 5 to 10 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and butter our pan, get it nice and buttery. We're gonna take our bench knife, if that's what this is called, scraper, whatever you wanna call it. We're gonna scoop our loaf up and put her in the pan, seam side down. Now, we are gonna let her sit for 1.5 hours to 2 hours. We want her to get a little poof, okay? We're not looking for her to double in size. We just want her to get a little poofy. So now we just sit and wait for that. I lied. We want her to get about 1 inch above this pan, okay? So hopefully she will rise that much because I had let her sit on the counter for far too long. Hopefully she has a second rise in her. So I'm just gonna watch her, and then when it gets to that point, that's when we'll bake her. I'm also gonna put this buttered saran wrap on top so that way she doesn't get stuck to the plastic. Surprising enough, Doreen has risen to about 1 inch above the pan. So I'm going to be preheating the oven to 375 and I'm gonna pop her in the oven for about 45-50 minutes. And here's what she's looking like. She's a little bit darker than I wanted her to be, but I'm sure that'll be fine. I'm just gonna add some butter to the top and I'm gonna let this cool in the pan for about 10 minutes. After it cools for 10 minutes, I'm gonna be taking this out and letting it cool all the way before I even cut into it. So 2-day process, but I have some fresh bread that only had like 6 ingredients in there. If you're trying to make your own sourdough bread, it's a learning process, but you can get it and you'll have fresh bread. Follow along for more.